We first met a long time ago, maybe 5th grade. We were friends, kind of. She wouldn't really talk to me. She was shy, as always. And then I think probably around 7th or 8th grade is when we started actually talking.
The first time I saw him or noticed him, I would say, was at a Sunday school. And we were in the same class, and a Sunday school teacher had asked some question, and of course he had some marvelous answer because he was so smart. And I was like, no way is this kid gonna like me. So I kind of like, 5th grade, you're kind of busy anyway. You're not really thinking about that.
I mean, it was like a really serious middle school relationship.
And I'm like so easy to read, so everyone knew. And I told my sister Esther and my cousins, La Posado girls, and that was just like, I might as well have told him.
We were at like this all-night type party. I talked to Maria's older sister, Esther, and she was like, someone's gonna ask her out, you need to ask her out. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it now. She really likes you, which Maria was not happy about. Maria didn't want me to know that she liked me.
I liked him for so long, I never thought he was gonna ask me out. I was so awkward looking, and it was 8th grade. You're not the prettiest in 8th grade. I don't know who is that pretty in 8th grade.
I was playing basketball or something, and Maria was sitting off to the side with her friend who, we were trying to get her friend to leave her alone because her friend was just sitting there and kind of ruining the chance to ask Maria out because it's in 8th grade and, that's embarrassing if someone else heard it.
I was watching him play basketball, and I was sitting right next to this girl, Diana Scott. I was just telling her, I was like, you know what? I should just get over Jesse. He's never gonna ask me out.
And then I went and sat next to Maria and I said, this is what people have been trying to do all night.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, so, do you wanna go out with me? Well, it's about time. I liked him for so long, and then I was like, yes.
That was about it. I mean, we didn't know each other very well.
And little did I know that I would marry this kid years down the road. I mean, it's amazing. Our first date was Valentine's Day in 8th grade.
If we wanted to go anywhere, we had to get someone to drive us. And our parents were both pretty old school, strict, so if we were going anywhere, we were bringing someone with us.
Over the phone, he's like, oh, let's go, for Valentine's Day, let's go watch this movie, and it's a romantic comedy, A Walk to Remember.
Which is a classic movie, fantastic. Just cinematography is just so good. And actually, my older brother Josh, one of my best men, he was there, and he had to sit through it, which I'm sure he's probably regretted pretty heavily at the time.
And I loved it. I think it's a great movie. He maybe not as fond of the movie. Our first kiss was a few months before that.
I kissed Maria like 3 days after we started dating.
He was sitting next to me. I was just dying. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jesse's sitting next to me, his arms around me. And all night he was kind of like giving me like kisses on the cheek. And I remember during that time, he's trying to be all sly, right? And like put his hand over me. He hits the windowsill. It makes this like big noise. And like everyone like wakes up and then like falls back asleep. And I think that's when he kind of like went in for the kill. It was like, okay, I got to kiss her now before I screw something else up.
No, it was definitely a 10. I mean, that was my first real kiss, so.
It's the best kiss ever. I'll never forget it.
So we dated through high school, and we went to proms together, and that's kind of when a lot of these types of things break up.
I was realistic. I'm like, okay, well, once we go to college, like, I know he'll probably find someone else or whatever. And then we ended up being at the same college, and that's when I knew, like, oh, I'm never gonna let him go. He's mine.
That probably strengthened our relationship even more, and as we matured. So I wanted to propose to Maria right after college, but I had no money. So I needed to wait it out and get some money and work some jobs.
I wanted to marry him like every day, but I thought it definitely was gonna happen after college, like after we graduated.
I went to purchase the ring back like 8 months before I I was going to propose. I was like, this is the ring I want, this is the diamond I want, everything. I had it all set. And they were like, it costs this much. And I was like, all right, well, I'll be back. I
knew he didn't have the money, but I was like, I'll take anything. Like, you can put a paper towel on my finger, and I'm like, yeah, you know, like, I'll marry you.
And so, like, I had to save for a couple more months.
So I had deleted every wedding app off my phone. I was like, it's all right, another year. I'll be like 27 when I get married. It's okay, whatever.
So I told Maria that we were gonna go out to eat with our friends, you know, have like a special night out. I didn't tell any of my friends. The only people that knew at this time were my mom, Maria's dad. I asked him for permission. He said sure. He was happy about that. And I was excited because Jesse and I hadn't really seen each other much because I was working a lot and he was at law school, so it was like a great time. Like Christmas time's here, his brother and sister are here, we're gonna spend time together. So I take her out to a restaurant in South Windsor, and you know, we had a nice dinner. Turns out, you know, my friends weren't going, and I told her, oh, they canceled, and this is just gonna be our special. We'll just go out special, just us. First thing I saw was the gazebo. I'm like, Jesse, let's go to the gazebo before we go to dinner. He's like, nah, it's too cold, Maria, like, let's eat. I guess like 3 days before, he told me like, pick the perfect table, and the waitstaff knew. So when I went in there, everyone was like super smiley. Like, oh, hi. And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm going on a secret date. I'm excited to be here, you know, like, yay. I knew she was gonna want to go out there. So I had set up an MP3 player, which was set to play like our favorite songs. I had a photographer kind of hidden out in the bushes. So finally we go out to the gazebo, it's gorgeous, and he's holding me and like, I'm just staring into his eyes, and he says this, are you ready? I don't think we can date anymore. I was like, oh my gosh, is that why his friends, is this why we're in a secret date alone and no one could come? Like, I'm thinking like, what's going on? I had a million thoughts going through my head. And he gets down on one knee and he's like, will you marry me, Maria Conchetta? And I'm screaming, yes, 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 like backing up because I'm in so shock. And then like hopping forward in my like stiletto heels because I'm trying to give him my hand. And then he surprises me with an engagement party. He's like, oh, let's go to my family first because your family won't let us go. Understandably, because my family's not crazy, they're awesome. It was a good time. Just champagne toast, all of that, so it's pretty good. It was a good night. And it was the best day of my life. I'm more excited than anything. I think it's going to be, I think the actual wedding day itself is going to be a ton of fun. Having, you know, so many people that you love and that you're close with all in one spot at the same time. I mean, how often does that really happen? You know, it's pretty rare. I just can't wait to marry him. I think this has been like a dream since 12. It's like a journey. It's like I'm running a marathon or something, and we've gone through like so much to get to where we are. And, you know, I was never nervous. I've never been nervous about marrying Jesse. I mean, that day, looking at him down the aisle, I want to sprint, because I just want to marry the kid. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, she's beautiful, and I don't mean just outside beauty. She's obviously gorgeous, but you know, she has a great personality. We get along great. I mean, we've been best friends since, I don't know, we were 12. He just has this heart. I mean, everyone says a heart of gold. He has such a pure heart, pure soul, and he gave it all to me, and I'm the luckiest person to have that. We've been best friends the whole time. That's what I love about our relationship. It's been so long. You know, we have so much in common. We're definitely a match. I don't think there's anyone else better out there for me. Life going forward wouldn't really make sense. I know everyone says it wouldn't make sense without Maria, so I guess that's it. Remember that you're not alone. The beginning is just another end. It's not too late to start again. When hope is all too hard to... I love you, and I hope I make you the happiest man, and I can't wait to marry you and start our lives together.
And I really do feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world to have you in my life.
Just keep breathing, breathing, breathing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just keep breathing, breathing, breathing. And
I love you. You know, I'm excited not just for the wedding, but to spend the rest of our lives together. You've been my best friend forever. Just excited. I love you.
let it go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just keep breathing, breathing, breathing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just keep breathing.
I'll see you soon.